A progressive Santa would leave solar panels in a naughty child's stocking instead of coal.
That's an interesting thought because what happens if you're from a coal mining family? Do you
Yeah.
then leave them coal in their stockings? Because that's like,
Yeah, well, that's another thought. Someone said that, like, 200 years ago, before electricity, that wouldn't be such a bad thing.
like a lump of coal.
Yeah,
That's power. That's fuel. That's life.
Keeping in the middle of winter too, keeping the
Oh
fireplace
yeah,
going.
absolutely.
Santa Claus knows exactly where all the evil people are in the world, but he does nothing about it.
Oh, that is a good one. Would Santa tip the scales of naughty and nice based upon his own fiscal budget as well? So, like, if he's had a successful year, would he be like, okay, 40% of children are good or bad? But then let's say Santa's going through because of the recession and because of the inflation.
Yeah.
Santa's going through a bit of a hard time, and he has to be like, going, okay, you know what? This kid's on the borderline. So I'm going to push it towards the naughty list simply because it's borderline. Like it's an interesting concept. Is the North Pole immune to inflation? And I'd have to argue against probably not because he still would need them. Like the Santa's workshop where he would build the toys would still need the tooling, the equipment, and let's not forget probably the most important thing about this whole thing with Santa building toys. What's the copyright law on him producing toys from, say, like Mattel, Hasbro, like let's say a good girl Susie wants a Frozen doll from Frozen, right? And then so Santa's little elves make her a Frozen doll. Wouldn't the Disney Corporation then be knocking on the North Pole, going, well?
No, you've got it wrong. He makes them for Mattel. He makes them for. You got to think about it. He only works one day a year, so he's obviously got other things going on, right?
So you're telling me there are no toys being made in the world apart from at the North Pole?
Yes.
You've blown it wide, Jamie.
It's the only thing that makes sense,
It is the only thing,
and that's how he can afford to give all those presents away. Santa having enough coal to give to all the naughty kids imply that some of the elves were working as miners. Back down the coal mine, little elf.
Imagine that. Santa, my hands hurt.
Yeah.
My lungs are coughing. It bleeds, Santa. Shut up. Get back in there. Santa, is this because I voted? Yes, you know why you're down there.
All right, here's a thought. So it's Christmas, and the zombie apocalypse happens. Everything in the apocalypse will be still dressed up like Christmas.
So there'd be like mall Santas walking around,
mall Santas. Like decorate. It would be like a very, very Christmassy apocalypse.
Okay, how has not James Gunn or someone made that film yet?
Because they've done Violent Night, they've done all the weird dark Christmas movies.
Okay,
why haven't they done the zombie apocalypse? Here's a question for you. So nearly every movie where there's Santa, right? He delivers the presents, climbs back on his sleigh, and flies off, right? Why wouldn't he just go next door? Like, you've obviously got all these houses to do.
Because he's probably doing it by alphabetical order, and so we don't all live next. We don't all live next to.
Yeah, I know.
Now, having said that, there's probably an elf somewhere in the North Pole who's about to go on stage right now in the Steve Jobs black sweater and glasses and go, present delivery. We have always delivered presents alphabetic, and that means Santa goes from one house in Michigan, and then he has to fly all the way to Southern California, deliver the next present back down alphabetical. Well, I'd like to introduce to you, then the screen goes black, and it comes up, present 2.0. Well, we'll deliver presents based upon the street addresses of the children. By doing so, we'll cut down labor by 40%. The elf was like, yeah, and we'll cut down delivery. We can deliver all the presents in the world within 12 hours. Tops. And then everyone cheers like, oh, yeah. It's crazy. And then the elf gets off stage, and then all of a sudden a bag gets put over his head and gets thrown into the back of a car and driven. And then it's Santa with his brass knuckles, and he's just beating off at him and goes, well. You figured it out, didn't you? Just pounding on this elf. He's like, what, Santa? I'm just trying to make deliveries more efficient. He goes, it's not about efficiency. It's bang, 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 bang. It's like, what? Do you know how much the government pays us per hour? We don't want an efficient system. He's just wailing on him, breaking his legs. We're doing it for the money. That's how Christmas comes the next year round, you fool. And like, Santa, I didn't know. And they put him in like into the classic mafia scene where they fill up his shoes with cement and drop him into the North Pole sea and he drowns.
Sends him down the coal mine.
Well, yes, that's how they get their coal.
Yeah. So you see all these movies where Santa's real, but the parents don't believe him, and the kids believe him, and all that stuff. I'd like to ask the parents, where are these presents coming from? like, Santa's not real. Where's this?
You're right.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't buy them.
No.
Like, all of a sudden, there's these random presents appear under the tree. That's exactly what the child wants.
Yeah.
Like, no, you know what that is? No, Jamie, you know what that is? Communication between husband and wife.
Yeah.
The husband goes like, she must have bought them. And he goes like, oh no, she must have bought them. And like, they don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
They're both happy that they're both happy that the other one took initiative. And so they're they're like going, yeah, it's good. Like, it's fine.
The one time no communication or poor communication is a good thing.
It's a good thing within a marriage is where the presents just magically appear.